I am not a sweets person by any means.
Oh,
Frozen veggies, right?
We have to end this right now. Oh no.
I will probably my number one dessert, and yes, I get all the hate for it. I get all the comments for it. Is the like a cup of the frozen mixed medley vegetables.
What? Phoebe?
I don't know.
Okay. Brian and
You
I are
just,
going to be MCs. We have to taste it. You have to bring some for us because I can't imagine that. What?
I totally will. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I love them.
Welcome to Social Kick. I'm Brian Lundquist. We got a full crew: Dr. John Mullen, Luke Paddington, and joining us coming off of Big Tens, Phoebe Bacon. What's going on, Phoebe?
Hey y'all, not much, just grinding, getting ready for NCs.
Hell yeah. Well, we appreciate you joining on a no school Friday and 2 practice. That is the swimmer life and championship season. But first, Phoebe, we had a few questions from our audience that we wanted to ask up front.
Okay.
Would you rather do a 1600 IM or a 500 fly?
That's difficult because honestly, I like both of that.
What?
Like everything that both of those are like not events, so they're fun. They would just be a joy. Probably go with the 1600 IM because you'd get close to a 500 fly in that.
Bold strategy. So another one, a swimmer asks, will I ever stop smelling like chlorine?
No. No, I can answer that one quick.
You heard it here first. Okay, and then the last one is your favorite non-swimming thing to do in Madison, Wisconsin.
Gosh, I don't really know. I mean, this doesn't, I guess, equate to Madison, but like I like cooking, so being in a kitchen is fun. And then I guess in Madison, honestly, going up when the lake's frozen, it's fun to like go up there, like walk around on the frozen lake and see it all. It's cool. And you can jump in too.
Oh, sick. Have you done ice fishing?
Never ice fishing, no. But you'll like walk out there and there'll be like the little tents and huts covering the lake. And it's kind of cool looking.
What's the ice fishing equivalent to farm to table restaurants? Is there like a local lake to table?
Not that I've heard of, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is one around here.
Why would you voluntarily jump in? Just tell me. You mentioned you can jump in, and that blew my mind.
It's like a once in a lifetime thing. Like how many times do you get to say you get to jump in like a lake with a foot of ice on top?
Well, there's the ice swimming championships. We talked with the Swim Brothers about that, right, B? I forget where they hold that out, but I guess they do like races and ice water. So, Luke, we can sign you up next time. You can tell us all about it.
Lake Tahoe is cold enough. We're good.
Oh, man. Our marathon swimming friends would call you so weak, Luke. All right, Phoebe, you're in the I had to ask you about this because you're in the rare community in the Clear Goggle Club. And as someone who was once in the Clear Goggle Club, very firm stance. What do you think is so polarizing? Why do people hate on clear goggles so much?
I think people just hate like when you put them on, and especially with the Swedes or with the tier goggles that I've been wearing, like your eyes just bulge out. And it's just like, it's stupid looking. It's like stupid looking, and just like in my head, I'm like, it's kind of intimidating. Like you can see my eyes, you can see me staring you down, kind of thing. But I definitely get a lot of hate for them, or just a lot of comments.
Luke was definitely of the opinion that they're not flattering, not specifically targeted toward you, but that in general, that it's just not a flattering look on anyone.
But you could stare down people and you can wink at them. You can give them the cross eye. You can do all kind of stuff, kind of, if you're like this.
Oh yeah,
I'm with you, Phoebe.
You'll see me staring down people, and like they'll know that I'm staring at you because I got the clear goggles on.
I think it's a power move. I'm with you. Everybody who thinks that they want to hide their eyes with metallic goggles. No, it's a stare down, and they're losing the stare down every time.
No matter what. Yep.
Even outdoors, though. I mean, remember Justin Rest talking about like he likes having the sun in his eyes, blazing his eyes. At least he knows he's going straight. Do you wear it outdoors as well?
That's definitely something new I've heard. But no, when I go outside, if it's a cloudy enough day, I'll still wear the clear ones. But if like a couple times in Croatia, training camp, I'd either have to go with the mirrored or just like the tinted black ones.
All right, so Big Ten just wrapped up in Michigan. I think Wisconsin finished fourth. Could you talk us through overall just your thoughts on the meet for yourself personally and the team?
Yeah, I thought as a team we were doing great. We had a bunch of best times. You know, everybody was swimming relatively fast, and we were just like having a good time as a team, which I think is like most important. Like when the team's like enjoying the environment, you know, you're gonna swim well, you're gonna swim fast. I was having an okay meet. I mean, personally, it's not my like end of the season meet, so you don't go in with a full rest, full taper kind of idea. But I was still having a good meet, and then I kind of came down with a little sickness on Friday going into Saturday, which caused me to pull out of the meet. But better to do that now than happen to get sick over at NC's. So, but I'm doing better. I'm more healthy and just getting ready for NC's.
Has that ever happened to you before, getting sick at a meet and having to, pull out and that sort of thing?
Honestly, I've gotten sick at meets plenty of times before, like especially back in club, you know, you go to like NCSAs and stuff like that, and they're like week-long meets that you're waking up at like 5:30, going to bed at like 10. But I've never really I come to the point where I've had to just like pull out of the meet, and that was kind of hard for me to like deal with because I'm not somebody that likes to do that. Like I'll push through as much as I kind of can. But me and Yuri just came to the ultimate decision. Like it's better that I rest now and take the day or two off or whatever it is than push through and then be out of the water for another 3 days when I get back home.
You feel like you fully recovered then from all that and back to it, hard training?
Oh yeah, this week has been long. There's been many days where I've come back and been like, gosh, I have to walk to class now.
Well, talk us through what's going on right now and then your prep as you move forward toward NCAAs. I mean, I think maybe last year it seemed like there may have been, obviously you had great results at NC still. You'd won the year prior, and then, you finished second in the 2-back, consul final in the 100-back. But then you went on to have an amazing summer, great trials, like consistently 205 low. Did that impact kind of your preparation for NCs last year, the fact that trials was coming in April? And how is that different for your preparation this year coming into NCs?
It affected it a little bit. I took a step back, and me and my coach me and Yuri thought about it. We were like, yes, we want to perform and stand up and be strong at NCAAs. But the bigger meet is coming sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. So I think it changed the preparation a little bit. And maybe my mindset was like a little bit more focused on like, okay, I'm going to have to transition into long course kind of soon here. Whereas this year, again, had that conversation with Yuri, and I was kind of like, I want to go all, like, I want to be all in. I want my head focused on short course yards for the collegiate season. And then when it comes to long course time, then I'll like switch over to that. So I'm really excited for this year. Hopefully I perform well, of course. But I've definitely really been more into short course yards this year than last year.
With taper and approaching NCAAs now, what sets are kind of getting you dialed in, or ones that okay, I'm hitting this now compared to last year or even 2 years ago when you won NCs in the 2-pack, where you're like, all right, this is starting to really click. I'm getting there.
We do a lot of sets kind of where we'll go like a couple pace 50s, a back end 100, and then maybe like a quick like 50 kick or something fast like that. And that's always really set me up well, both long course and short course. And I know I'm starting to feel it when like those pace 50s are faster than pace and it feels like easy. And not so much this week. This week has been a little bit longer of training, but I know like next week we'll come probably like a Thursday and do that set suited and just like kind of see what I can rip on a back end 100, kind of with my legs already dying. And like, I like that feeling, like that little bit of pain that you feel at the end of like any race is just like, it's like money, it's gold.
Phoebe is kind of related, but I want to know. We all know the answer to this, but I want to know what Phoebe Bacon. How do you dial in for a short course yard season? You particularly, especially for your pet event, the 200-yard backstroke, which is so different to 200 long course backstroke. How do you dial in for yards backstroke?
I like to focus on underwaters. I may not be somebody that's going to go 215 off every wall, but I know that if I have a number in my head and let's say it's 8 kicks off every wall, if I'm hitting those 8 kicks and they're going from like bigger kicks in the beginning to like just fast up to the surface, and I can like consistently do that without taxing my body too much, like just that I know like my underwaters, again, like I said, may not be getting a 15, but if they're strong enough and fast enough, I'm moving through the water with some real speed.
Do you have a different race plan for 200 yards because it's 8 laps versus the 4 laps of the long course?
Not really.
Yeah.
I still break it up kind of with the 450s in mind.
Yeah.
Go out, just be comfortable that first 50, but take note of where I am in like the pack of swimmers. And then it's just, to me, I always think about it just like build each 50, get faster. If I can negative split the 200, man, I wish I could.
Dang.
But really like the ultimate goal in mind is just making that back half even or like almost negative splitting the last 100.
Which one hurts more? The having to hold those legs that last 50 the long course or having to push that last underwater of the yards? Which one hurts more for you?
Gosh. I don't know. It might be the short course one. Because it comes down to those underwaters. Like you're underwater for you're losing so much oxygen doing that, and it can hurt. But I do think I think the short course one is a little harder, but I think you can hold your stroke better on a short course over the long course.
Really?
I would not have expected you to say that. We have so many people who say that the hardest race in swimming is the 200 backstroke and 200 backstroke long course specifically. I don't know how many people say short course, but hey, you're the source. So tell us about you got the overall World Cup winner there training with you, and also the NCAA record holder, which is recently under threat with a great swim from Claire Curzan. But what have you learned from Beta that you can apply to really short or long course racing?
Just training with her is incredible. Like that girl can be on just about every day, and even if she's on an off day, it will still be a second or two faster than your on day. Like it's crazy.
Why do you think that is? What is she doing that's allowing her to be that consistent?
I think it's it might be like just part of her mindset when she comes into practice. She talks about it here and there, and like me and her have talked about it. She'll come into practice, and whether it be like I'm not feeling great or she is feeling good, she just knows that she can come into the pool and come into practice and just pick one thing to like get better on, or just that one thing to focus on. And I think that just allows her to come to the end of a practice exhausted, tired, but still just be able to come out with a solid performance because she's thinking about at least just one thing. Whereas I feel like a lot of swimmers either going to practice or going to meets, and I'm guilty of it too. And like, I'm just thinking about 1,000 things. I'm like, how do I make my underwaters better? How do I keep my head back in my stroke? You're just going through so many things. And a lot of the time she just comes in and she's like, all right, I'm not feeling great, but every single turn, I'm not like, I won't breathe 2-3 strokes into it. Or she just has that one idea, that one thought, and it just like allows her to progress and just be better and get better every day.
So, I mean, you had workout this morning, you got another one this afternoon. When you go into the pool this afternoon, what's that one thing that you're focusing on?
I think what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing back and fly tonight. So probably my turns. Just hammer every turn that I can, open or flip turn. Because that's a area in my swimming that I feel like I'm not as strong in. So I know I can get better at that. And especially in backstroke, like I have a tendency to take that big long stroke and then like flip into it. And just fine tuning that, just that little bit will help.
Do you have a drill for that, or it's just a mindset? Like, or is there a drill you do to help you get the tight tuck over and stuff?
No drill, just doing it off into every wall. And sometimes I'll mess up and I'll do it way too far out, and I'll be trying to kick in empty water. And then sometimes like I'll hit it too close and I can feel that. And it's just like finding that fine line, that like right in between, it just will work so well. So I can come off the wall like even stronger and then hit that kick count that I have.
When you're training, like Luke is saying, there's drills you can do, but I think when you're focusing on those fine points, it's really like during the hard sets where it's hard to keep that connection and keep that kind of mental thought there. Do you have any keywords or things you do to maybe try to keep you focusing on the area that you're working on, or are you going off the clock as kind of a gauge?
One of the big things that I've found that helps me is like if Yuri or one of my other coaches or Jenna comes by in the middle of a big set or something where I'm getting tired, I'm losing my connection, losing my stroke, really all they have to say to me is like, head back, like get your head back. And that'll kind of like kick my mind into gear and be like, shoot, all right, this one I'm going to focus, whether I need to get my head back or it's like, I just need to iron out where my arms are at. That just reminds me. That's like a little reminder of just like, okay, focus.
How do you approach goals for this season? You talked about your focus being on short course yards and kind of making sure that you're not distracted by the long course season coming. Are you someone who measures success by kind of your internal intrinsic effort, or is it outcome based? Are you setting goals based on winning a particular race or going a certain time, or is it just about like, achieving what you set out to achieve in practice and then doing the best that you have on a given day? Like, can you just talk us through kind of your thought process and also like looking ahead to NCs as well? Like, are there any specific things that you're trying to achieve there that'll kind of, be a binary yes, no, didn't achieve for this season?
I of course I have some goals. Like there's always a time in the back of my head or like a place in the back of my head. But I will say my goals and my like aspirations for swimming definitely fall more on like, did I like that race? Did I split well? That's like the big thing in my head, I would say. It's not like, okay, I went 148 or okay, I went 2050, but did I die on the back half or did I take it out? Like it's did I split this correctly or like I said, how close to negative splitting the back half can I be? And like, that's probably one of my biggest goals in like the 200 back. It's like, how fast can I come home on it? And like, I don't want to die in a race. Like, I want to, I'm a relatively fit swimmer. Like, I have endurance, I feel, and I want that to show in the swim, and I want that to show in the race. So maybe I don't get first, or maybe I don't go best time, but like, did I swim it well? Did I swim it correctly? Did it feel like a good swim? Yeah. Is probably more where my head's at. But then when it comes down to a race, like, I don't like losing.
So
I don't.
Okay, so you go out hard and die, and you win. You got to pick. Here are your two choices. You go out hard and die, but you still win, or you split it perfectly and you get third. Which one do you want?
I mean, obviously the win.
Okay, now we're talking.
But like, it's the win, but it's like I'll come away from that and be like, yeah, I won. This is amazing, happy, excited. But that's not a good swim. I'll see that swim as I can be better because there's more in that.
Yeah.
We were talking about 200 back at NCs, and like you said, goals sometimes enter the mind. I think Brian mentioned Claire Curzon getting a great swim at Pac-12s. 200 back, University of Wisconsin record. Not many are the Wisconsin records. Is that something you and Beta, or something that's in the back of your head at all?
Gosh, it kills me. that damn record board, and like, yeah, Beta's name is covering half of it, and the half that she's covering are all like NCAA records. So it's like, I really gotta swim fast to get them. One day, I hate to say it because I love Beta and we're really close and all, but one day I hope to take down one of her records.
I hope that you're talking some shit to her on a daily basis too about that.
There's a little bit of shit talking, I would say. If you ask any of my teammates or anybody, I'm like the queen at just like, I'll come into practice and I'll just start just like poking at people the whole practice. I will not like shut up at all.
Is that the East Coaster in you there?
Oh, definitely. I came out to the Midwest and I definitely have had to tone back some of the talking that I've done, because no offense to the Midwest people, I love them, but it might be a little bit softer than some.
We'll talk about that move out to Wisconsin and meeting up with Yuri and Yuri's influence in your family's history of your brother and stuff, and what's Wisconsin culture like, and how are you guys on deck, and who else do we have to look out for besides yourself at NCs, etc.? Let's talk about Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, so the history of me and Yuri goes, or I shouldn't say me and Yuri and I, the history of Yuri and my family goes back pretty long. Mm-hmm. So he was back at Nation's Capital, coaching Katie, of course. And as he was coaching Katie, he was coaching my older brother and then my older sister a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and you can ask my mom, I was like that 5-year-old, or who knows how old I was, running around on deck, not causing mayhem. But so I never got to directly be coached by him. He headed out to Cal, and then he came over to Wisconsin. And I think before even I knew he had headed to Wisconsin, I think my mom was like freaking out, because she had loved him. She'd loved how he coached, I guess, how he coached my older brother. So him becoming the head coach of a program, she got really excited. But then like I took my visits all around and came out to Wisconsin, and immediately, like, my hosts both, like, I had different hosts each night. One was this girl, Jenna Silvestri, who just graduated last year, and then another one, Holly Stoll. They just, like, I felt like I was part of the team right then and there. Like, I didn't have to sit there and listen to them, like, talk and try and sell the school, because I knew I was going to get a good education there. And I just wanted to, on my visits, like, I wanted to come to a school and just like, do I mesh with this team? Am I enjoying just being here for 48 hours? And I felt that pretty immediately. And then the coaching staff, I was talking with Yuri, of course, Christy, and then Jenna. And again, they were just kind of like, they were just fun people to be around. And with them being fun, I could just picture myself kind of swimming there and swimming under Yuri. So I made the 12-hour drive out here and moved in 2 years ago. And have basically not looked back since then. And ever since then, I think just the team culture has been growing. The women's team especially has just been getting stronger and getting better, as well as the men's team, because we are a combined program. So we're training together basically the entire year. We split up a little bit when it comes to like moving into Big Tens and moving into NCs. But like the senior women on the team, like every time they've left these past 2 years, it's just been so sad because like they've been such a like important piece to my swim career, and I feel like truly to my success in the swimming world. But we have some young freshmen that I think are really may not make a huge stand this year at NCs, but like they'll be there. They're going to be racing there, so that's already such an amazing piece. But come another 2 years, another year, I think there's going to be a couple more names kind of coming up in those A finals at NCAAs.
When I left the Caribbean to go to McGill, I went first and I saw snow, and nobody told me that Montreal was Montreal when I visited in September and stuff. I know the change isn't as drastic from Chevy Chase to Madison, right? But it's still if your recruiting trip was in January, you may have had a different perspective, right? Where is that?
It was cold, and it is cold up here. I remember like on my visit, people were like, "Oh yeah, like it gets really cold. It gets really cold. Like as long as you have a big coat, like you're fine. But it does get really cold." And then freshman year, I don't think it snowed for like, I swear, like a month straight.
Yeah.
Which the first time was great. I love some snow.
Yeah.
But then when practices don't get canceled and school still goes on.
Yeah. No more snow days.
Yeah, no snow days.
You're like, wait, what's the point of snow then? But over the course of the past 3 years, I have learned. I think I've become pretty adapted to the Wisconsin weather. I layer up. You always want to layer because you're going to go into a building and you're going to need to start taking layers off because you're going to be sweating in the middle of class. And I sweat a lot. Exactly. So, but yeah. I have my layers on, and I finally, like, they give us a big parka at the school, and I've been wearing that. But I finally purchased like a real winter coat like 2 weeks ago or something. Finally, and that's helped.
You're a junior. You just got it. Okay.
Freshman year, I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like I'll just use the coat that they give us. Like it was great. And then sophomore year came around, and I was like, man, I really should buy a coat. Like it'd be the adult thing to do. Like I need to own a coat. Never got around to it. And middle of February, I was like, I'm gonna get a coat. I'm gonna be an adult. I'm gonna do this.
Spend your money.
I had a college teammate at Auburn, and he was from Wisconsin, and he wore Birkenstocks through the entire year barefoot because there was like allegedly hardened from all the Wisconsin winters that his feet just never got cold.
Brian, I wore 2 jackets, 2 coats, and we put garbage bags over our shoes because when we walk for the snow, your shoes wouldn't get wet. So I look like a homeless person, but I was warm and dry. But it gave us grit. It kept the team together, Phoebe. It is like you wake up at 5:30 to walk to morning practice in February, and you jump in that pool, you become a different animal, and your team bonds closer. So the Wisconsin, your team culture must be like, if I can go through that, I can do anything. Don't you think?
Yeah, everybody has each other's back, I would say.
Yeah.
And one of like my little like quirks that I have when it comes to like on the pool deck is like morning practice, it's dead silent. Yuri gives you a sheet, you're like everybody's lined up, ready to go in. But hands down, every single day, every single practice, and I do it at meets too, I'll dive in like either on time or like 5 seconds early, and I will scream. I will make some amount of noise and then carry on with my swimming because I am always cold. I'm always complaining about being cold. And sometimes if I'm feeling really devious or annoying that day, I'll like dive in and then I'll pop back up and I'll like scream back at everybody on the wall like it's freezing today or water's super cold. Like I'm a menace sometimes.
I turn around and go back home.
But like I mean, just like screaming as you jump in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think the team kind of just laughs at it, but it's a way to start practice, and everybody follows in after that.
Yeah, good old Midwestern vibes right there. And in the Big Ten, like we talked about, Wisconsin got 4th this year. And, I went to Purdue, and I'll be honest, I'm sick of seeing Michigan, Indiana, Ohio State. In other conferences, there's been kind of more of a mix-up at the top. We got Arizona State now at the Pac-12 for the men, kind of shaking things in. What's it going to take for Wisconsin to start shaking up the top, at least on the women's side?
Yeah, I think this year going in, we were kind of looking at it and like we could get third. We could get third here. Previous year, like we had lost to Indiana by I think like 15 points. So that was a tight race of running with the idea, but Indiana ended up having a really amazing meet. But I really think that Wisconsin, Michigan, and Indiana, like we all could hopefully start dueling for that maybe second, third spot. Ohio State, man, they're a powerhouse. I don't know what it is, but hopefully soon we'll knock them off their peg. No offense to them, but I want Wisconsin to get up in that mix of those 3 teams, and I want to see some mix up with it. And God, if ever win a Big Ten championship, whether I'm graduated or I'm still here, like I'm coming back to celebrate with the team.
I think the first step is your whole team needs to wear clear goggles for intimidation.
Hey, it may work. They're the most intimidating goggle I think anybody could ever wear.
I mean, at that Worlds when they zoomed in over top of you, I really felt like I was singing to your soul. In all honesty, it was just like
see the eyes. Oh God.
What did you see, John?
All good things. All good things.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad. Rainbows, butterflies, all that good stuff.
Of course.
No, there's no rainbows and butterflies on the last 50 of a 200 back long course.
Did that race haunt you, give you fire, like 0.04? What the hell? I mean, I was like, I watched that race again this morning. It's like, what does that do to you now, 8 months later, or whatever it is?
I think like my 200 back long course has come a long way. I think going from back in high school when I rarely swam the 200 back because I didn't like it up until Olympic trials, going to the Olympics, and then basically missing out on the podium, getting 5th. That was like that first step of like, God, I don't want this to ever happen again.
Yeah.
and then going to worlds and just getting out touched. Like, again, it just hits me. And it's like, I don't want to like put myself in that position ever again. Like if I want to win this, I want to be up on that podium again. I don't want it to be close. Like, I want to be up there. And it for sure fuels all the fire going. And it just makes me so much more excited for really just like going into the short course year and going into the long course year. Cause it's like, I want to do better. I want to be better.
Phoebe, can you talk about what it's like to be someone who's so accomplished, so young? I mean, you're winning on the national scene at 16 or like in high school, right? And knocking off, some other big swimmers in the process, in like 100 back. And then of course, transitioning more, focusing on 200 back. But we see this a lot more so on the women's side with such success at a young age. I mean, obviously lately we've seen Popovich kind of break the mold and have some like amazing success on a world level at a really young age. But it's fairly common for us to have, like world-class swimmers in high school on the women's side. And then, and so you're on this path of like super rapid high achievement. And now it seems like, as it does with all of us, when you reach an elite level, it's kind of parabolic. Like you're trying to squeeze the last little bit of improvement, and it's not like when you're a kid and every time you show up to the pool, every time you show up to a meet, you drop a second or 2 seconds or whatever, and so like, and sometimes that means like throughout the prime of your career, there may be some ups and downs, and you can have successes at meets, maybe not necessarily related to a best time, but it could be that you split a race really well, or, you did tactically something well, or mentally your approach was really good, or you saw improvement from prelims to finals and you became a really good napper or whatever. Right. What's that process been like for you as you're approaching or maybe already in this phase of your career where you're like squeezing margins? I mean, hey, maybe you have another big drop in you, and sometimes we see that, and I hope you do. But or maybe you don't. Like, I don't know. How do you think about that in this phase of your career?
Yeah. Like you said, like I'm going for basically milliseconds here, and that comes from like just the smallest of details in a race. But for me, I feel like I can't always just be stuck hanging on the idea that I need to drop like that much time or be like that much better. Like sometimes like I just sometimes just need to have fun while you're racing, while you're swimming. And that's where I feel like I find that balance of like when it is go time, like I will get focused. I will be dialed in and ready to race, ready to swim and do that, get that millisecond or two off. But the other time, like I said in practice, like I like poking at people. Like I am somebody that really enjoys coming into practice, and like I can have swimmers next to me and we'll be dueling it out. And that's just like, it's fun to me. And I feel like a lot of, especially like younger women that have had some success early on and have continued to have success as they've grown older. Like, I feel like a lot of people start to lose like the fun and the joy from swimming and like where it stemmed from. And to me, like I started swimming back when I was like 3 years old and it was with my summer league team. And if any of you all know, like an East Coast summer league team, it's the best thing ever. You're never not screaming. You're covered in like body paint and funky outfits because you have themes for every meet. And I just kind of think back to that always. And it's like, every time I went to those meets, I was just going to have fun. Like I was swimming fast, I was swimming well, but I literally was going to them because I was enjoying myself. And I want everybody to enjoy swimming and enjoy the sport. So that's why I always try and come on deck smiling or just being more excited than others may be, because I want people to enjoy being there and have fun with the group around them and have fun racing, because that's just going to benefit you when it comes down to that moment in your race or in your career where you really need to show up and perform.
Yeah, I totally having fun in racing and fun in swimming is the secret to being happy and longevity and being fast. And personally, I loved racing and I loved training equally. I used to get butterflies in my tummy when I saw the heat sheet at a meet, or when I walk on deck and I saw the board. I was like, shit, I have to do that, or I have to race this person. It was the same anticipation, but it was the same fire. Like, all right, let's go for it. Brian, you're going down today, even though he kicked my ass, right? Talk about
every time.
Every single time. I'll give him talk. You give talk. But you talk about your talk and your sets and, the kind of work you got to put in to get to that level. Hardest set you ever done, and did you love it?
Oh yeah.
What was it?
Always. I honestly, one of the hardest sets that we do it a couple times throughout the year, and it's 21's fastest average on 130. So it's not it's
not good. Yeah.
You're not on a tight interval, and we kind of look at it as the set's not crazy hard, but the mental piece behind it of just you want to do better than the last time you did it. Mm-hmm. You want to do better than the person next to you. Mm-hmm. There's all this mental piece to it. So, and I'll see girls will come in to do it, and you'll see girls that totally have psyched themselves out and sadly have a terrible set. And then you have people that come in and are dialed in, ready to go, but also I'm going to take it 100 at a time. And it can it gets to me sometimes. There have been, we did it September this past year, and I was not having it. I think I hit number 6, and I was just almost mentally checked out, physically checked out. I finished it and I did okay, but I was just I was almost over it by number 6. But you got to push through.
So I got to ask, what are you trying to hold on these short course and long course?
Short course, ideally, I would want to be 55, 56s, I think. They'll add up our hundreds and average them out. Mm-hmm. And I think my best average has probably been in the 57s. Maybe I might have averaged out once a 56. But usually right in there.
It's how you you're proud of your splits. Are you proud of how you swim that set? Like if you started off with 54s and the last 5 are 59s, that sucks.
Yeah, I would be leaving that pool pretty mad. Yeah. I have I like kind of pushing the idea of descending or colors to the limit.
Yeah.
People will be okay, we're descending this 1 to 4, and they'll descend something with 2-second drop off, I don't know, in between, or a second. I will try and descend it by 0.5 every time.
Yeah.
I'll be
heart rate's pumping.
Start fast and just end really fast.
Wanted to ask you, we got a lot of feedback from our audience that we pulled for questions to you, and several of them had questions about backstroke starts and any advice that you have on how to do a proper backstroke start. So
no advice. We're done.
Could I respond with a question of, can they teach me how to do one?
No, you cannot. You're the resident expert, and you must advise.
Yeah, I don't think I have that great of a start, at least in comparison. But I I was working actually this past summer before heading to Worlds. I was working with Ryan Murphy, kind of just like, how does he set himself up? Because if you watch his start, which like I've watched it in slow motion, I've watched it in person, like over and over, he just gets set in such a position where when that beep goes off, he just fires off the wall. And after watching it and kind of talking with him and just like going over some things, I learned that like I'll set that my feet up on the wall and the angle of my knees so that when they say take your mark, all I have to do is pull up with my arms. I don't have to like rebend my legs or like stretch them out a little bit more. Like legs, bottom half of my body is set. Mm-hmm. I pull up, and then when they say go, all it is just launching yourself backwards. And that's kind of helped me because when you do a backstroke start, like, yeah, you want it to be good, you want it to be fast, but that's not what you want to be thinking about the entire time.
Right.
So being able to kind of jump in, set the legs, so you have to think about one thing, and that's the pull. It just makes it so much easier, at least for me to like comprehend and then get into.
All right, a few more from the audience. Best advice you ever received?
Oh, I don't really know. It might just always kind of before I head up to race or something, my coaches have always kind of just like looked at me and just like always their advice to me. I'll never hear like, I want you to split it like this or like do that or this. It's just always like, go out there, swim your race, have fun, or just like enjoy it. And just hearing that before a race, and it just it clicks me on and it relaxes me.
Okay, favorite breakfast or dessert?
Breakfast.
And while you think about it, I'm going to refrain from asking you any of the suggestions we got related to your last name.
I like bacon, I will say. But my favorite breakfast is probably like whenever I go to like a breakfast restaurant, I like always get the like classic, I guess, like American breakfast, like which is usually like potatoes, eggs, or like hash brown eggs and like sausage or bacon or something. Like I just like a classic, gives you a good feel. And favorite dessert, I am not a sweets person by any means.
Oh,
Frozen veggies, right?
We have to end this right now. Oh no.
I will probably my number one dessert, and yes, I get all the hate for it. I get all the comments for it. Is the like a cup of the frozen mixed medley vegetables.
What? Phoebe?
I don't know.
Okay. Brian and
You
I are
just,
going to be MCs. We have to taste it. You have to bring some for us because I can't imagine that.
What? I totally will. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I love them. I will say I've started doing like every once in a while, or I'll do like sometimes like a yogurt parfait, like yogurt and like strawberries, which gets a little bit more dessert-like.
Definitely is more dessert-like than vegetables.
But yeah.
Live a little, Phoebe. You're man.
But
Vegetables
I'm not a big sweet person.
Vegetables are the clear goggles of food, I think.
Yeah.
It all tracks.
Hey, swimmers are weird, and like I feel like I just like fit the stereotype, man.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few more rapid ones for you before we let you go. What's the hardest race in swimming?
Maybe short course 2 IM.
Wow, I don't think we've heard that one before. Olympic gold or world record?
Gold.
Do you pee in the pool?
Yes.
What was
swimmer doesn't?
Hey, some people claim they don't. What was the best snack at Summer League meets?
Oh my God, fruit by the foots.
Oh,
for by the foots or like the donuts. Dude, I would walk up to my mom and be like, please, can I have $1? Can I have $1? And she'd be like, are you serious? And I'd go get like a fruit by the foot, a ring pop, or a donut.
oh hell yeah. That's so good. What's the best race you've ever seen live?
Oh my god. Ooh, probably the Christoph's two fly at Worlds. That was just like, it was just amazing to watch, and hearing the noise in the stadium. It was incredible. Like, I got goosebumps during it. Thinking about it, I still like get goosebumps. It was just amazing.
That was crazy. All right, what's your favorite backstroke drill?
I like 3 right, 3 left, and then 3 regular cycles. It just, like, if I keep your head still, it gets me into my line, it gets me into my position, and it just makes my stroke feel tall.
Classic American breakfast, 20 100s on 130, and 3 3 3. You are just. Oh, I love it. You're a real throwback, Phoebe Bacon. Okay. You mentioned earlier talking about girls that psych themselves out because they hear the set and they get scared of it before coming to afternoon practice. What's one set in your career that you knew was coming and you were shaking in your boots all day, just dreading it?
It's a set that we have coined. We've now called it the Lily, after this girl Lily Hozak, or we call it the Wesley after this kid Wes Jekyll, both on the Wisconsin team. I can't remember if it's 10 or 11. I think it's 10 200 IMs, and they start on an interval that's like pretty easy to make, and then it just drops by either 5 or 10 seconds till you're down, like, you're trying to do this last 200 IM on like 205. Mm-hmm. And you have to descend all 10 of them. And Yuri wants to see like a good descend throughout all 10 of them. And so there was rumors going around the pool deck, like, oh, we're doing the 10-2s. It hadn't been called the Wes or the Lily at the time. But so like there's rumors going on. I was like, we're doing 10-2s tonight. We're doing 10-2s tonight. And we walked on deck after lift, like rushing in from lift. And we see on the board just the title, the Wesley. And like jaws dropped. We were all just like, oh God. Like you felt a little sick in your stomach. And it sounds and looks so simple, but it was stressful, terrifying, and I still get terrified if I hear a rumor about it coming.
This sounds like a Peel movie. What happened to those 2 swimmers? Why is it called after that? Are they still swimming it?
So it ended up being called the Wesley because he's a senior this year, and the first time I did it, I was a freshman, so he was a sophomore. And his freshman year, they did it. And Wes, great swimmer, more of a sprinter, I would say, but swims the 2 IM, swims the 2 back, and is fast at them. But his aerobic capacity is a little bit lacking. I hope you won't mind me saying that, but it's a little bit lacking. So he came in, I guess, his freshman year, and he did like 3 or 4 of them, and then just got kicked out.
No.
Wait, why? You couldn't make it?
Yeah, I don't think, like, he either started to not make it already by like number 4, or he was just going so like just swimming it so terribly. But he got kicked out. Yeah, he hates that set.
Oh wait, okay. So what was Lily's story?
Lily she graduated last year. She's more of a sprint freestyler, but swam IM her all the way up until her junior year. So she was always in our IM group.
No excuses.
And she had done it the year prior, and I think the reason that we started calling it the Lily was because she was I I think she started crying during it. Like just like bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
Like she's a very talk with the hands. Like I love her to death. She is one of my favorite people like on this earth. But like when the girl can't do so or struggles to get through something, like I can't help but to laugh. But she was just having the worst time of her life. And Yuri knew that like this set terrified her. So it became the Lily / the Wesley.
I love it. We learned from another Lily King recently that they refer to that as croggling when you're crying in your goggles.
I've never heard that, but I like that. I'll bring that back.
All right, well, let's all pour one out for Lily and Wesley, and the what I think you should call the Lil Wesley from now on. That's what you should call this set. I don't want to do that set, and I'd probably get kicked out after 4, guaranteed. So, all right, last one. What time makes the Olympic team and the 200 backstroke next summer?
I think it'll be around 205, maybe 204.
I think 203 too. That's what I got.
You were thinking faster. I'm trying to think faster, but at the same time, I'm like,
it's gonna be race.
Fully loaded, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's just reset the standard. 159.
Let's go for it.
Why not? We got all these dudes going, all these women going 20 points in the 50 free. Got dudes going 17s and 50. I'd say 159 two back. It's coming.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, 200 back does keep getting faster, right? It's not like one of those that's been stalled out. It's
a little 10x thinking, Phoebe Bacon. What's it going to take? Start doing that long course.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. That's it for this episode of Social Kick. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, Phoebe. It's been fun to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you next time. Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're enjoying Social Kick, tell your friends about it. And be sure to tell us what you liked by leaving a comment and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Social Kick. And you can find all of our content on our website,